Every day, without thinking, we reach for it. A small pinch, a quiet shake of the hand. Salt falls onto our food, and life moves on. It is so ordinary that we barely notice it. So common that we forget it is even there. But pause for a moment. Have you ever wondered why salt is always present? Why every culture, every kitchen, every civilization seems to depend on it? Why something so simple has never disappeared from human life? Because long before salt became invisible, it was one of the most powerful forces in human history. Before oil, before gold, before money, salt ruled the world. Imagine a time when food did not wait for you, a time before refrigerators, before ice boxes, before sealed containers and plastic wraps. Food spoiled quickly. Meat rotted in the heat. Fish turned bad within hours. Hunger was never far away. In this fragile world, survival was uncertain. Each meal was temporary. Each harvest was a gamble. And then quietly, humans noticed something strange. Food touched by certain white crystals lasted longer. Meat dried with it did not rot. Fish covered in it could travel for days, even weeks. What began as curiosity soon became knowledge. Salt did not just change taste, it changed time. For the first time, humans could save food. For the first time, tomorrow felt possible. Without knowing it, they had stepped into a new chapter of existence. To understand salt, we must go far back. Before cities. Before writing. Before history had a name. Early humans watched the world closely. They followed animals across plains and forests. They learned by observing, not by reading. And they noticed something unusual. Animals walked long distances to lick certain rocks. They returned again and again to the same salty pools. They risked predators just to taste the earth. Humans followed them. They tasted the rocks, the water, the soil. It was sharp, strong, different, and their bodies responded. Salt balanced the blood. It prevented weakness. It replaced what sweat took away under the burning sun. Slowly, instinct turned into understanding. Salt was not optional. It was essential. As humans settled down, salt guided their choices. Villages formed near salt springs. Towns rose beside salt lakes. Entire cities grew where salt could be found. Where salt existed, people stayed. Where it didn't, people traveled. Salt created movement. Trade routes emerged, not by design, but by need. Long paths carved through deserts and mountains. Caravans loaded not with gold, but with white stones. In ancient Africa, slabs of salt were traded like treasure, sometimes worth more than gold itself. In the Roman Empire, soldiers were partly paid in salt. That payment was called salarium. It is where the word salary comes from. Salt fed armies. Salt built empires. Salt became power, but here's the strange part. Salt was everywhere on earth. Yet not everyone could reach it. Some lands were rich with salt, others had none, and that imbalance changed everything. Those who controlled salt controlled people. Kings taxed it. Empires guarded it. Governments turned it into law. In ancient China, salt monopolies funded massive armies. In Europe, salt taxes crushed the poor. In France, one tax became deeply hated, the gabelle. People were forced to buy a fixed amount of salt at high prices, even if they did not need it. Even if they could not afford it. Smuggling salt became a crime. Hiding it could destroy families. Lives were ruined over white crystals. Salt, once a gift of nature, became a tool of control. And where control exists, resistance is never far behind. Across cultures, salt carried meaning beyond survival. In many traditions, salt symbolized purity. It protected homes from evil. It sealed promises. To share salt with someone meant trust. To spill it was bad luck. To betray someone after sharing salt was unforgivable. In ancient religions, salt appeared in offerings, in rituals, in sacred covenants. Because salt preserved food, people believed it preserved truth. Because it resisted decay, it became a symbol of eternity. Even language remembers this. To be worth your salt, to be the salt of the earth. These phrases echo a time when salt defined value itself. But salt also carried darkness. Because it was powerful, it was feared. Some rulers destroyed enemy lands by salting the soil. Not to conquer it, but to make sure nothing would ever grow again. Salt could preserve life. Or erase it. It could feed cities or starve them. And for centuries, humanity walked this thin line. And then, one quiet moment changed everything. In 1930, in British-ruled India, salt was illegal to produce. Even though the sea touched the land, people had to buy heavily taxed salt from the empire. Even the poorest were forced to pay. One man decided to walk. Mahatma Gandhi began a long march to the ocean. Not with weapons, not with anger, but with patience. When he reached the shore, he bent down, picked up salt from the earth, and broke the law without violence. That small act echoed across the world. Salt once again became what it always was meant to be, a shared human right. As technology advanced, salt slowly disappeared from the spotlight. Refrigeration replaced preservation. Global trade made it cheap. Industrial mining made it endless. Salt became invisible, no longer precious, no longer rare, no longer fought over, or so it seemed. Because even today, salt remains essential. It keeps our bodies alive. It powers industries. It preserves food. It shapes climate. It influences oceans. The world still runs on salt. We just stop noticing. Imagine for a moment a world without it. No preserved food. No long journeys. No cities far from the sea. No empires as we know them. History would collapse. Civilization would look very different. All because of something we now spill without care. Salt teaches us a quiet lesson. That the most powerful forces in life are often the simplest. That ordinary things can shape extraordinary outcomes. That what we overlook today may have once carried the weight of the world. Every time you taste salt, you are tasting history. The sweat of ancient workers, the footsteps of caravans, the rise and fall of empires. The quiet courage of those who resisted control, all in a single grain. And perhaps that is the true story of humanity, not built on grand miracles, but on small discoveries, shared needs, and simple things that changed everything. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing.